All right, so we're gonna be going over the keys of the 40 start today. We got Jay. Jay is running about 18 miles an hour here. He is 13 years old, about to go into high school, already 17.8, about 18 miles an hour. So good case study here. I did it by myself and me doing it, and it's kind of hard to be able to do the video and also the explanation. So I figured having a person stand in would help us out. So let's go ahead and get into the 40 stance. This is the newest edition of the performance lab. Reach your individual goals. We don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become. The big thing that we want to think about here when we're getting ourselves lined up is, and everybody's going to be different, right? We have different amounts of distance between our front foot and our hands, right? Some people like to really crowd the line. Some people will be a little bit further off. Again, that's variability based off of you. Next thing, go ahead and get set up here. This front knee is going to be a little bit longer depending on how much range of motion you have through those hamstrings. So you can see how he's really trying to extend here. Big thing is, notice how his head is below the hips. You want to have the lower you can tuck that chin a little bit more there, Jay, and the higher you can get those hips all the way up, will really create that load. We're going to go through it one time. You're able to explode down as he's getting started. All right, go ahead and get back in that position. So one of the things that ends up being important is as you're loading, you start off with this foot kind of back behind. He's getting himself loaded up within that front foot, and then he's inching that back foot forward a little bit as he's going through, that leg. So now he's really getting himself up, and then the first thing that's going to happen, he's going to drop this knee. He's going to fly through with this hand, and he's also going to bring that right hand back, go and do it again as he's starting off. And that'll help them in being able to really master that initial action, right? So it's a lot about how well are you able to really drive those hips through, and how quickly can you drive those hips through while getting your head position up and through. So that'll make it so you get more hip extension as you're going through. Let's go ahead and go through it one more time. All right, so we can see here how his foot is a little bit further away from that cone here. He's getting that hand all the way up. He's getting good extension within that front leg. And as you do it, you actually get more extension. Then the first thing he's doing, he's dropping that knee hard. He's raising up this heel, and he's flying through with those hips. Going to go through it. Boom, going through with those hips right there. So that really ends up helping you and being able to really master that hip extension, which ends up being really the most important thing. How quick can you get your hips into the actual movement? And the better you can actually master that, the better you're going to be able to get through the start. Okay, let's go and go through one more time. Now when he's going through this, how you want your right foot to land, right? So you're not pushing off this right foot. You're pushing off the left foot. But how you want that right foot to land is to have the heel up as much as he can, and so he's all on the balls of his feet. He doesn't want to have that heel downwards at all as he's landing. He wants to be, really a lot on his toes. Let's go ahead and really extend here, extend, and then drive that right hand and drive through with that right foot. There we go. So see how he's really able to spend the least amount of time as possible. So if you're landing with your heel too close to the ground, that's going to make it so now you're going to be spending a lot more time on the ground on each one of those steps. So that ends up being a big part of being able to understand how to get faster in the 40 is how well are you able to accelerate? Because if you lose the acceleration, you're not going to be able to get your top speed as well. You're not going to be able to transition into your drive phase as well, and it really messes you up. Because, we're talking about tenths of a second here, hundredths of a second. The difference between running 4.6 and 4.5 or 4.5 and 4.4 could be hundreds of $1,000s. Could be, the difference between you getting interest from a SEC school in comparison to a Division I AA school. So these little numbers really make a big difference, and that's where most of the people really end up losing the ability to run faster is, they don't take into consideration how these small things really make a big difference. So thanks, Jay, for doing that here. But if you guys have any questions, leave those in the comments down below, and we'll talk to you soon.